Hey guys, how's it going? Dutchman Games here. Today we're going to start something quite large. A series that will take a long time to finish, but I hope you guys will enjoy it. Today we're going to start an Unreal Engine 5 third-person RPG tutorial series. I made one in the past, but that one was catered to Unreal Engine 4. Now I want to redo this for Unreal Engine 5, but with a twist. We're actually going to make a game and then also post it on Steam eventually, so in the end you guys can actually play it as well. Our game will utilize the maps we've made thus far, and the more maps we'll make in the future. I will also make videos on that, of course. This series will showcase every single thing that goes into game making. So, everything from creating assets, creating animations, adding music, adding sound, adding widgets, UI, health, everything that goes into an RPG game. We'll try to make everything ourselves, and it's going to be a very long journey. But hope you guys will enjoy this. We already have some basic tutorials on the series, and I'll still be making random level design stuff as well. But I do want to focus on this huge series that will basically take everything that goes into making a very large RPG game, or not a very large RPG game, but like a base RPG game, and hopefully you guys can copy it and do it yourselves and learn from it. So, yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoy, and leave a comment and like, subscribe if you do. And let's start today's episode with making a character. Hey guys, thank you guys for listening to the whole long intro. It had to be done because this is going to be a very long series, and in this episode we're going to import our custom character, and I'm also going to show you how to make a custom animation for that character with all within Unreal Engine. So it's pretty cool. Um, and yeah, let's get right into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our custom animation or custom character. Now I've already I actually made this character using Meshy, which is an AI tool that takes your concept art and then turns it into a actual functioning model, which is absolutely insane. But this will work with any model as long as it's uh, rigged to the Unreal Engine 5 mannequin. Okay, so it doesn't matter which model you take from the store, from the Unreal Engine store, or from Meshy in this case. As long as it's rigged to the mannequin, it will work. So what we're going to do is we're going to need two things. We're going to need our actual third person character mannequin, and we're going to need our new model. And I have all this stuff already. Don't look at that. The only thing you gotta look at is the actual skeleton. All right. So from the skeleton, which is this one, from the skeleton mesh, you need to right click, go to create an anim blueprint, right? And create a blend space 1D. All right, so we need these two things. So let's open them both up. Then we're going to third person character. Now this will be in the blueprints. What I did is I actually moved that blueprint into the Sentinel Studios map so that it's easy for me. This is my studios. It's easy for me to actually find the character in there. So you want to open that, and I've already assigned the custom model to this, but I will go back and assign the base skeleton for the Unreal Engine mannequin. And actually, I had the mannequin, I believe, which is the Unreal Engine 5 one. So I'll move to that, and then also the Manny animation. This is what you have, right? So you need this one as well, and then you also need the. So you go to the animation class right here. So you click on Mesh, go to animation class, click on this little browse asset in content browser, and then it will actually be right here, the ABB Many, and you open that one as well. All right, so we got all our things. Which what we need now is we are going to need, so this is the new one, so let's get rid of that. What we're going to need is we're going to need all this data that's in the ABB Many animation blueprint, and we're going to move it to our custom character. So go to the event graph, Control C everything, so you can Control A, Control C, and just put it in here. I will explain to you what all this does later, but let's just get everything in here. When you compile, it gets a lot of errors. What you want to do is you want to go to all these variables, right click, create variable, create variable, create variable. Just add all these variables. And I think this is the last one. There we go. So now this all works, right? Now we go to the ABB Many again. We go to the animation graph, which is right here. And then all you need to copy is this Locomotion one. Just Control C this. Go to the animation blueprint. Go to the anima graph. Control V. Plug it in. Compile. All right. So it actually went face down here, but just that grabbed me up. But this is all good. This is all we need. So now what we're going to do is we're going into the Locomotion. And we're going to the idle. And in the idle, we're going to add the blend space 1D, the one that we made, right? So you want to add that in here. And then from the variable in this, you want to get speed, which is set ground speed. Again, I'll explain to you all this later when everything is set up. And then also in the walk run, you basically want to do the same thing. So you just want to put this one in. There we go. All right, so let's go to the blend space 1D, the one we just put into the output in walk run and the one in idle. This is basically what this does is it says, okay, so we have a variable, and this variable is speed in this case, right? So we can actually turn this to walk speed. It doesn't really matter, you don't have to do that, but it makes it easy to understand. So we have walk speed, and then we have something that can happen depending on what that variable is, right? So let's say this variable can go to max of 500. Usually it's 600, so put it on 600. So halfway 600, what we need is walk, right? Because then you're half your speed, so you want your character to walk. So we put walk there. This walk animation is amazing, by the way. And then the idle animation, right, would be at 0, because when it's at 0, it's idle. And then the running animation would be at the max, because when we run, when our speed is maximum, you want it to run. And for example, let's say you have a sprint animation as well. You can put your run animation to 450 and then put your sprint animation on 600. And then you can play with that, right? So that's the way that works. So you put this in, you compile this, you add this in. The moment you compile this character, it will work. Because the way this works is in the event graph, and now I'm going to explain everything, right? So in the event graph, it gets the character, right? It initializes and it gets the character. Here it just sets the references of the character when it initializes. And then here it updates what the character is. And here it gets the velocity, so it gets the velocity of the character, and then it vector lengths that, and then you get the ground speed of the character. So now you have a variable which sets the ground speed, and then this is all extra stuff that we actually don't really need, but we might as well keep it in there. But the way this works is now we have a ground speed variable, and that's based on what the velocity is and all that stuff from the blueprint, which is the third-person character blueprint, right? So all we got to do now is we got to change our third-person character blueprint to our new skeleton, and then change the animation class to the new skeleton's animation class, the one we just made. And what happens in the Locomotion is very simple. It just says when the Locomotion starts, So right here. So this is what actually happens. What happens here? And this is what is the prerequisite of what's about to happen. So once you go in here, you have the idle prerequisite, which says if the ground speed is 0, you will be in the idle pose. If and then here it says, hey, is it moving? Yes or no? Then you go into the running mode, right? Because here it changes that. We could even delete all this and just put this in idle, and nothing would change. And as you can see, this works perfectly because when it is not moving, it's an idle animation. And when it moves, it will change to, depending on what speed it is, it will change the animation. So let's say I walk against this wall. You can actually see that I walk sometimes, right? And that's because my speed is not high enough to run. So this also means that if we were to bound the button shift to decrease our speed by 300 or 250 or whatever is our max, that means that then we are automatically walking. So let's do that. So what we're going to do is we are just going to, first I have to delete something real quick. Give me a second here. There we go. First I have to go, first we go to the character, right? And in here we're going to say shift, left shift. And if pressed, what will happen if we press this is we'll go to the character movement. We'll set walk movement. Max walk speed, sorry. Set max walk speed to 250. Because mine, and this might be a little confusing, but I put mine to, I put my speed. So my, sorry. My blend space to 500. So let's actually make this 600 just to make everything, you know, see more clear. So we change this to 300, right? All right. Now, when we will release it, it will bring it back to 600. What will happen now is when we hold shift, we will walk and we'll go a lot slower. And when we let go of shift, it will run. Right? And that's that. Now, if we jump, nothing will happen. And that's because in my game, I don't want there to be jumping, right? So we're just going to remove that. So we're going to our jumping button and remove that. Now you could easily say, okay, when I jump, and then go to the locomotion here, and then say, like, this is the standard locomotion. And what it says is, let's say you're in the state of jumping, there's a loop, right? So this is the jump, this is the falling animation, this is the falling loop animation, and then if this were to end, it will go back to the standard land animation, right? But we don't want that because we're not going to have jumping in the game. I don't want to have jumping in the game, so we're not doing that. But essentially, this is it. This is a very simple way of setting up your character's locomotion. And now, you know, there's no jump, but we can walk and we can run. Walk, run. And I actually think the walking animation doesn't really align well. So let's actually make... So you kind of have to play with that, right? So what we can do is we can go to the walk animation. Oh, we go to the walk animation and then we say the rate is slower. And let's see what happens now. I think it has to be faster, but let's see what happens. So when it's slower, yeah, it definitely has to be faster. So now we'll just go back to the walking animation, and then we'll say let's put it on 1.2, 1.12, actually. That's about right. That's a little bit better. And we can also set the walking to 200 maybe, and then, you know, it'll look even better. But you can just play with this. You could tinker with this, and then that's all set. All right, so let's make an animation. So I have I made the idle animation really quickly because my character did not have an idle animation and I wanted an idle animation. So let's make an idle animation, or uh, you know, an animation where he raises his hand up or something. And let's just do that, and then I'll show you guys how that works, right? So what we'll do is we'll go to animations, we'll go to idle, and we're going to duplicate this. And then we're going to call this animation idle 2. So copy this up. So what we can do now is we can go to the skeleton tree and we can literally select anything we want. And let's pause this for a minute. And we can say we want his head to do this, or like maybe like look up and then do that and then look down, right? So we something like that. So let's get it back to where it was. There is one thing that's extremely important here. When the animation starts, as you can see, it's only 16 frames longer, right? So you can add frames by adding by clicking on right click and then inserting frame before, after, it doesn't matter. It will actually extend the whole thing, right? So what's important is that it ends exactly where the character where it starts, because if you don't do that, it will like really quickly switch back to where it was and it will look really weird, right? I have it a little bit with the movement, as you can see. There's a small like jagged motion. So there's a few tools to do this. You can, kind of like just remember what you do, and that's kind of what I do. So for example, we will key it right here. So now it's keyed. We move it up three paces, right? And then we go over here to 4. We move it up 3 paces. Then we go to 8. And then we go to the left. We key it there. And then we go to 11. We move up 3 paces. We go to the right. We key it there. And then it wants to go back to where it was. And the reason it goes back to where it was is because I've previously keyed it all the way in the back. Right? So you need to key it. You need to make sure that you remember where you moved your character. So what we could even do is like around 14 or something. We can even put it up, put it a little bit to the left, right there, and then it will go back to where it was. So now we have this. And it has this little thing where it like goes down real quick. And I have no idea why it did that, but we can adjust that. So open up the head, and as you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on here. All right, so there's something up with the roll, right? Because what it happens is it goes down, and then it goes back to where it was, right? And then it goes down eventually exactly where it was previously. So, and for some reason, this is all up. So let's move this down. And this way, it looks to the left, looks to the right, then it goes down. Looks to the left, looks to the right, and then it goes down. And the more jagged this is, the more you can adjust it. So for example, we could make it a little bit less crazy. There we go. And this could be a random animation event or something that happens with the character. And you can do this as crazy as you want. So for example, I could take the hand, move it upwards, twist the torso, move the hand forward, and make a complete animation for hitting a target or for casting a spell or anything. And we are going to do this a lot in this series because I don't want to use any marketplace animations for this. I want to try to make all the animations in Unreal and show you guys how I do it. So for now, this is just a quick tutorial on how to actually create your custom animation if you want to. But yeah, that's basically it. So here we have now the animation of looking around. Looks around a little bit, shakes his head. That's that. So yeah, first episode done. Naturally, we've had previous episodes where we would like make where we made the dungeons. We had episodes where we made the main menu, and we had episodes where we did some post processing and stuff. So all those episodes, do work with this. But this is the first episode in making our RPG game. In the next episode, we're going to make the UI. So we're going to make health bar, mana bar, experience. We're going to make experience work, experience orbs. So, when you kill something, things drop and then you pick them up and then you gain experience. We're going to make all the stats. Think about damage. Think about magic resistance. Think about all that stuff. And yeah, so that'll be the next episode. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and hope you guys like this type of series. And let me know in the comments down below. And please do like and subscribe; it helps me out a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.